him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Oh my God, it's time for the only news that matters. And Ace Frehley reflecting on his solo approach and asserted that fans should be able to sing impressive solos, contending that the licks from Yngwie Malmsteen and Eddie Van Halen lack that quality. Although not the flashiest, fastest, or most unconventional player of this generation, Ace Frehley's easy confidence and focus on playing for the song resonates with thousands of fans, solidifying the original Spaceman and the only Spaceman as a seminal influence on many guitar players. He says, "I'm a blues bass player. From day one, that's what I gravitate to." And he says that he shares with Guitar World in a recent interview discussing his upcoming solo album. The record and collaboration with Trickster Steve Brown features plenty of these bluesy licks that Frehley regards as his fortune. And that the title track already proved fans with a glimpse of what to expect. And discussing his playing philosophy, the guitarist added, "I've always been into players who are powerful but who wrote guitar solos that would repeat a lick or lick 2 or 3 times. Like I said, I like to write solos as songs inside of songs. That's what a guitar solo is to me." While elaborating on this idea and its connection to solos, Frehley argued that Eddie Van Halen and Yngwie Malmsteen, both guitar virtuoso, praised for their precision, speed, and innovative use of advanced technique, lacked those particular qualities. He says, "The best solos are the ones that you can sing. I love Yngwie Malmsteen and Eddie Van Halen, but after the solo, you're often going, what the hell just happened?" And for me, it's about the melodic and the simple stuff. I understand melody. I don't need 500 notes between each bar. I'm a blues bass player, and that's the mythology I always go back to. Interestingly, Ace's former Kiss bandmate Gene Simmons echoed a similar sentiment about the melodic aspects when comparing Eddie Van Halen and Yngwie Malmsteen's solo styles. Simmons asserted that one could effortlessly hum the former licks, while the same couldn't be said for the latter. You can hear the melody, and to be able to hum it back instead of Yngwie's nonsense, good luck to him too. Good luck to anybody, but nobody can walk down the street humming Yngwie's solos versus Eddie Van Halen solos. They're all great solos, and you can hum because he spent time figuring out the musicality of it. All right, enough of these two. I come from the school of, and I know not many people are in my school, that, hey, it's his opinion, whatever. My favorite guitar player of all time is Edward Van Halen. And I can hum, and I can find just about every solo on that 6-pack. To me, it was memorable, and just like Ace's solos, but Ace's solos were different. His solos were kind of like what he says, songs within songs, where Eddie's solos were not really a song within song, but a great solo. I mean, you pick anyone. I mean, the one that just springs to mind real quick right now is Push Comes to Shove off Fair Warning. I mean, that solo's phenomenal, but it's not a song within a song. But it's this ripping he does that still makes sense. And another guitar player like Eddie that was like that was Gary Moore. Gary Moore could rip, but he also did this thing to his solos that made them extremely memorable and personal. And that's what Eddie Van Halen, Gary Moore, Yngwie Malmsteen, and Ace Frehley all have in common. When you hear those guitar players, you know who it is. But that's Ace's opinion. And as you can see, Gene, I think, said good things about Eddie, but, you know, Yngwie Malmsteen. Now, Yngwie Malmsteen's a interesting thing. I know I hear people's complaints about him. All the solos are the same and all he does is, you know. But I get it. You know, there's certain music fans out there that get it. You know, like there's certain music fans out there that get U2. I don't get U2, but they fill stadiums. So obviously people get it. And I feel the same way about Yngwie. I love his soloing, and a lot of them is very memorable and killer. Krina Corey from Alcatraz, that guitar solo right there. Yes, it's pure ripping and craziness, but there's a vibe to that solo, you know, and I could think of hundreds others. But I'm an Yngwie fan. I love Yngwie Malmsteen. I know a lot of people don't, but hey, I just saw Yngwie the other day, well, a couple weeks ago, and a couple thousand people just for him. Well, and Glenn Hughes, but I've seen Yngwie play that same venue where it was like, you know, nobody was opening up, or if somebody did open up, I don't know who it was, and it definitely wasn't a name band like Glenn Hughes. So even down here in crappy South Florida, the place was packed, you know, and so people do get Yngwie Malmsteen, but there's more people that don't. Well, I'm just lucky I do get it, and I dig Yngwie, man, and I've had encounters with Yngwie because he lives down here, and every single time I've met Yngwie, he's always been really nice, which is the opposite of the horror stories of people that have met him before, because maybe it has to do with me meeting him like at a gas station. I met him at a gas station. I met him at the mall with his wife and kid one time, and he was still very nice to me. You know, we were in the elevator, and I was just quick, you know, conversation. Hey, you know, I've been a big fan. I'm not, you know, I'm not a stalker or anything. You know, we just so happen to be in an elevator together. But yeah, I love your stuff, man. And I even told him, man, Alchemy is a great album. Alchemy was already about 5 years old by that time, and he was like, oh wow, thanks. You know. He's always been nice, man. And at the gas station. And one time, he was my bartender. Yes, believe it or not. I think I've told this story before. In case I haven't, let me tell you. It's a really cool story. Yngwie Malmsteen was playing at a Battle of the Bands thing at this club that's no longer around called Billboard Live. And it was kind of like a Battle of Bands, but it was Battle of Rappers. But Yngwie would do a little, you know, guitar solo in between, you know, the Battle of Bands things. Him to a tape, but it was him live, and it was ripping. He did Far Beyond the Sun and stuff. Anyway, between him going on stage off, this woman came up to us. Wasn't his wife, though his wife manages him now, I believe. But it was a different woman telling us, oh, because we were, you know, it's me and my friends. We got long hair. We look like, you know, rockers, and everybody there was into hip-hop and stuff. So she goes, hey, are you guys here for Yngwie? I go, yeah. And she said, come follow me. She took us upstairs, and there's Yngwie Malmsteen behind a bar. And he was serving us all drinks, and, you know, we were chit-chatting with him a little bit, me and all my friends. And, you know, my friend Carlos was a guitar player, so mostly he held the conversation about gear and stuff. But, you know, we all got in a word with Yngwie. Super nice. And then we were leaving, you know, and while we were leaving, in comes Doogie White. That's his name, right? Doogie White. And the woman says, oh, Yngwie, this is Doogie. And the next album Yngwie released was with Doogie. So I was there walking out of the room while he was meeting Doogie White. But anyway, back to the main story. Eddie rules. My all-time favorite guitar player. Though I love Ace Frehley, it's a different style. I guess bluesy what he says, but I don't really hear. I mean, I guess I do hear it, you know, as far as blues notes and stuff, where Eddie just rips. So, but Eddie will always be my favorite player, man. I think of every guitar solo he's done in the six-pack, like Light Up the Sky, Little Dreamer, I'm the One, They're all ripping, but they're memorable. And then there's the simple stuff he did, like Ain't Talking About Love, very simple. Everybody Wants Some, all like, you know, he's playing for the song. He's not doing, you know, like fucking ripping. I mean, Everybody Wants Some and Ain't Talking About Love and songs like that, that's more Ace's style. That's how Ace would do it. So I would say those are songs within songs, now that I think about it. But there you go. What do you all think? Who's in the school of Ace? His opinion doesn't bother me. If you're in my school, or if you've never been to my school and said, "Hey, sucks! How dare you talk about Eddie Van Halen?" No, Yngwie does suck too. You know, but you know, whatever. It's his opinion, and I love Ace's solos. He does great solos. So I may not agree with him, but I respect it, and that goes for anybody out there, even you Sammy Hagar fans. You know, I have no problem with you liking Sammy Hagar. I just have a problem with you telling me I'm wrong for hating the douchebag. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. And smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.